every right to have disaster fatigue would be our governor, David Ige. He's been having to manage the state through one thing after another, and he joins us now live. Sir, Governor David Ige, thank you so much for taking the time out of this particular disaster to join us.
Thanks, Gina. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
You've got a lot on your plate right now. What is it like having to be the governor of a state when you've got the pandemic going and you've got this hurricane?
You know, I'm proud to be governor of Hawaii because, you know, we learned a long time ago that we need to work together, and federal, state, and county first responders are working to ensure that we can keep our community safe.
Definitely. And we've seen, you know, there's a lot of strain on the community right now. The Red Cross had to put out multiple calls to get volunteers, and understandably so. People are cautious about COVID. People aren't, you know, they're struggling to make their own wages wherever they can. What kinds of things are we learning on the fly right now about what we still need to tighten up in this hurricane season right now? How can we be even better prepared?
COVID-19 has really impacted how we operate our emergency shelters. And as you've heard, it's greatly impacted the capacity of each one. And we know that many Red Cross volunteers tend to be retired individuals who would be at risk in this COVID-19 environment. So I believe that all of us need to re-energize our efforts to get more people to sign up as volunteers. You know, the Red Cross has a terrific program of training individuals and helping support our community during these disasters. And we need to all make a commitment to sign up more volunteers so we will be ready for the next hurricane or emergency that passes through our community.
Might we be taking another look at sheltering, this whole concepts of sheltering anyway? Certainly hardening our personal homes, you know, the way they're built, ever better. Sheltering in place is always ideal, but only a handful of the official shelters across our islands can withstand anything above a Category 1. What can we do in the near term to get more adequate sheltering resources, especially if the storms, because of climate change, are going to be more frequent and stronger?
We can redouble our efforts. As you know, that we do have programs to encourage homeowners to invest in their properties, you know, add hurricane clips and other measures that improves the survivability of their structures. And it's a relatively low-cost improvement that homeowners can do on their homes that would significantly improve the survivability. So I think those kinds of programs, we should redouble our efforts. And we know that when we can make these investments in our community, they're very small, but they have tremendous impact on the damage that we would see should a hurricane have a direct hit on any of our communities.
And perhaps only in this hurricane season would we have such an extent of this option, but the hotels are mostly empty. And you spoke about it a little. I know the county mayors spoke about it, that they were close to deals or could have deals with hotels, but just not for this particular storm. Might you expedite or encourage the mayors also to expedite those kind of agreements right now while the hotels are empty for the rest of this season?
We are executing and having conversations with the hotels. You know, Gina, one of the things, and we've made contact with literally thousands of residents and travelers alike who are in quarantine, and most of them wanted to quarantine in place. You know, although we want to have the ability to go to hotels as appropriate, we will have those agreements in place certainly by the time the next storm rolls around.
That's fantastic. Now, it almost seems like an ancient memory, but there is COVID still going on. Yeah. And it's, you know, we had another high number today. I don't know if we've talked about it yet on the newscast today. 64, I believe, was the count for today. It's a very serious thing. The percent positives among the daily tests have been inching upward. You mentioned in your recent press conferences some meetings tomorrow, Monday. Maybe those will be delayed a day or so. Can you tell us what kind of conversations you're still planning to have this coming week about triggers, rollbacks, things where we need to act with even more care, maybe than our current act with care phase?
Gina, it is obvious that many in our community have relaxed their vigilance, started to interact more, and many thinks that if it's a family gathering, that it's a safe outing just by definition. We know that anytime individuals are interacting with others, it does promote the spread of this virus. And whether it's potlucks, and I know that many in our community have made significant sacrifices, during March and April and May as we worked to get this virus under control. And since Memorial Day and the 4th of July weekend, people seem to have relaxed their vigilance. I just want to re-emphasize that any social gathering is an opportunity for spreading COVID. And even if it's family members and relatives, you need to wear a mask in each and every one of those situations to help us fight against the spread of COVID. I will be meeting with the mayors and have had informal discussions with Mayor Caldwell and Kawakami and Victorino and Mayor Kim to talk about looking at what's happening in our community, looking at bars and gathering sizes, those kinds of activities. We know that it's not every single instance that becomes a super spreader event, but we want to be focused. We want to allow the economic activity that can be done in a safe way. We are redoubling our efforts to enforce the criteria and the guidance that we put in place, looking at different ways that we can enforce in bars and restaurants. We do know that many businesses have embraced the responsibility and implemented terrific programs to reduce the spread of COVID-19. We want to be able to share that and celebrate those successes. At the same time, we do want to revisit and shut down those businesses and entities that are not implementing physical distancing. Those that have ignored the guidance provided, they've allowed large gatherings to occur and unfortunately allowed the spread of the virus in our community.
Aloha, this is Pankaj.
The public would certainly support that, although the businesses that are following the rules would ask you, please let them stay
Aloha,
open.
this is Bob.
Sir, Governor David Ige, the Saturday was a monumental day for a lot of folks across the street. We have some folks weighing in. That's okay. While they get that sorted out, I'll continue that question. Saturday was a big day, even without the storm prep. And why? Because tens of thousands of unemployed people hit that cliff. That was the last day of them collecting that $600 plus up, so to speak, from the feds. Now, I know the feds have to work out their deal, what they're going to do, whether or not they'll continue that. But I know you have a lot on your plate, but something on your desk is SB 126, the COVID spending bill. At least the legislature's plan on how they wanted the federal relief COVID money to be spent. Some of that has at least a little bit more unemployment in it. I think it was $100 plus up. Also, interestingly, and this does relate to the storm, because I think SB 126 also encouraged you to use hurricane funds for something else if you so chose. As you deliberate whether to veto or approve or let become a law without your signature, as you look at all those factors in the COVID spending bill, now that you have the storm and the unemployment cliff, what's on your mind about that?
We are looking at those programs that the legislature has funded. I am also speaking with the governors and looking at what options other states are looking at to avoid the cliff in unemployment insurance. And we are meeting and talking with our congressional delegation to get some sense. As you know, the House did provide an extension of the full $600 per week unemployment plus up, while the Senate has looked at a significantly reduced amount. We are going to monitor that activity and looking at and be prepared to implement a state-funded program As you said, the legislature had provided $100 per week plus up. In addition to that, they did fund support for rent and housing for those who are unemployed. So we are moving forward with implementing those and being prepared with RFPs and other solicitations to get nonprofit partners. We continue to work with public and private sector to provide safety net services, food, shelter, and additional funds as appropriate to help as many in our community with this unemployment and economic crisis that are facing us.
Well, Governor David Ige, I do so appreciate your time. Thank you for doing everything you do. We understand that the 5 o'clock forecast is just now in, so we're going to let you get back to taking a look at that while our forecasters do as well. Good luck to you because you're taking care of all of us. Okay. Thank you, sir, for your time. All right.